Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Gunmetal Soul, our Savage Worlds Rifts game. Our Rifts for Savage Worlds? I don't know how they want us to say it, but that's how I'm saying it. Our Savage Worlds Rifts game, our Savage Rifts, where our group of intrepid travelers are working their way through the East Coast, headed to the ruins of Pennsylvania to discover the Franklin Key.
Elvin just sent me a
So,
meme that
let's
says,
go
"Why
around and
be an
introduce
alpha male
our...
when you can be a
Did I
finished
say
product
intrepid
male?"
already? Probably.
With the fucking
Our
mouth
adventurous
full.
adventurers. Let's start with Sasir.
Hi everybody, I'm Dara. I will be Sasir this evening, our little French-Canadian raccoon lady mutant, who is one part Sly Cooper, one part Rocky Raccoon, and one part Tom Nook, and you never know which one's active at the time.
Alright, Adelaide.
Hey folks, my name's Fox. I'll be playing Adelaide tonight, a Cyber Knight lady. I have metal skin sometimes.
When you want. Alright, and Rainier.
God, I always forget what it's called. Hold on, it's been a while. What the fuck is my class?
Don't worry about it. Just skip that part.
I'm Riley. I'm playing Rainier, who gets to do a violence, and I fucking...
This is true.
My brain... Oh, it's in here, hold on.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you look it up, because it's fun.
It's a... Hold on, my brain... Stop! No! Why is nobody helping me?
I think the Psy Warrior is what it's called.
Psy Warrior, thank you.
You are a Feyborn Psy Warrior.
Good night, everybody!
And that's our games. Join us next week. So,
Fantastic.
last episode, the group of you had ventured all the way to the ruins of Nitro High School, where you found a bunch of demons terrorizing what used to be the population of the town. You are joined by Kari Neville, a techno wizard, who is a weird bird lady. And in bird lady, I mean she's more like Shiar bird lady, where they have feathered hair, and that's pretty much it. And you are joined also in this case by Warhol, a dragon cat that had been sent from your contacted castle refuge to assist you.
Right.
You engaged the demons, and you found them a match for you. It was a tough fight until three extras you hadn't yet engaged showed up, and thinking yourselves outnumbered, it was at that moment that Kyrie, the techno wizard, discovered that the three that had just shown up were in fact illusions. And as you were about to make your escape from the battle, it showed you that maybe you don't need to. We were in initiative order, but there is one enemy remaining. So I think I just want to know, how do the three of you dispatch it? I believe two of you were on the field next to the hamstrung 20-foot tall demon beast. It's a feculence demon that had... So the demons you had been fighting were summoned and then given techno wizard improvements, and are this weird mix mash of 20-foot tall demon with technological limbs. And you had winnowed their number down to 1. And last thing I believe that happened was that Rainier had taken out, pretty much hamstrung one of its technological legs. And it was wounded. So the three of you are going to take it down unless you decide to continue running.
Oh, no. No.
Now that you know the odds are no longer against you.
No. No.
Let me just do a thing here. Alright, so how do you fuck this beast up?
This is the thing that kind of looks like...
It's a crab, dolphin, crayfish.
Yeah, I'm trying to look back.
Oh, I found a picture.
Looks like. Feculence demon is... Oh yeah, it's... Oh Jesus Christ. It is a weird, long beast with like... kind of like a whale face. And
Yeah.
a large arm coming off the front of it, which has a giant magical, like, boombox scoop that blasts shit. A long whale-like tail. And two giant robotic legs that make it walk on land.
Oh, they're super spindly legs too.
Yeah.
Compared to its, its bulk.
Yeah.
Oh.
It is about 20 feet tall.
This thing, it sassed me.
Oh yeah.
It sassed me and tried to kill me.
That sounds about right.
Yeah,
That's a
no.
no-no.
It said something about having fun. Yeah. So looking at this thing.
How dare you have fun, my
It's my fun. If it like, so we've Rainier has hamstrung it and was about to turn and run. It probably took one step and then hears that the others are fakes as they like flicker and just stops, straightens, and turns with a wicked grin on their face and kind of glances over at Adelaide and it's just like, I think it's our turn to have fun now, and just basically goes to like bound up the thing and mount it from like on top and just starts stabbing into it with these fist blades.
Yes. Your summoned Psyblades start wailing into the underside of it. Sasir, you had a clear shot on it, I believe, though you had been knocked out of the concession stand of the ruins of a football stadium that you were in.
Mm-hmm. And I think knocked into the stands with Warhol.
Yes, that's right. They threw the dragon cat at the stand you were in.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And the dragon cat then pounced back at the other hound demon.
And then I put the hound down.
Yes.
I think Sasir would want to get to the top of the next nearest structure that's not completely destroyed. Though she would use the like mangled stands to try to get up higher again to get a clear shot while she rests her Wilkes pistol like in the crook of her elbow to aim, because it's a long shot with a pistol. So she tried to like use her arm to like give it a little extra.
Gotcha.
And just use it as at least a help for the other two who are much closer than her, and she doesn't plan on getting close to this thing.
Alright, so you're kind of providing covering fire to keep it from, like, running or moving out of their space.
Yeah.
I like the look of that. And, we're not going to roll for this because this thing is so badly outnumbered at this point, with the three of you being able to focus on it. And Adelaide.
The expression on her face has gone kind of blank, but it would be hard to read anyway through the helmet that she put on for this fight. It matches the same that cobalt blue armor color, but the visor, it's almost got that kind of like RoboCop like thin bar, but instead of being dark or seeing her eyes through it, there is that blue white glow from her visor there. And the rest of the helmet has this kind of swept back look to it. And as we realized that all the rest of them were illusions, she stopped and turned back and sees not Sasir. Sasir's up in the stands. Rainier sees Rainier jump onto this thing and start just going to town, beating the crap out of its head. I think it's this thing's got kind of a weird mouth, right?
Yep. Big whale-like face.
Yeah, big weird like forward pointing whale like face. I think what I would start to do is bring the sword up so the point is forward and runs upward, and as Rainier's working their way down from the top, I stop, like run and step up off of like one of the bodies of like the fallen other demons we've seen there, and use that as a springboard to go up in through the base of the jaw to work my way up from below.
All right. It goes off with it looks awesome. It is the running scene. Everyone kind of hits a slow motion as the suppressing fire is laid down. It perfectly maneuvers it back into kind of like one of the dead demons is a ramp for Adelaide as Rainier is coming down on top, just all in one big scene where it zooms out a bit so we can see everyone crashing into it at once. The credits then come up, and the theme song plays, and then we come out, and the creature is dead. Adelaide and Rainier are both standing there. The illusions continue to flicker and make noise, but they are clearly illusions at this point.
Can we see where the source is of the illusion, or even track it to anything? Or is it just kind of like it just appears, but there's
It
no
is-
way to track the source?
It is a created source through a psychic power, so I mean, someone might be able to give me a psionics to learn more about it, but being able to track down the source of it might be a little beyond this group.
I can actually roll that. It's not the worst thing I have.
Yeah, go for it.
You said psionics, right?
Yes, give me a psionics roll.
Okay. No, it's crap.
You failed. All right, that's remember. In this system, you do have bennies. I believe Sasir starts with 4.
Do you guys want to
Copy, paste. You don't have
try
to use it
or
for this.
do you want to try, or do you want me to re-roll?
I mean, that's definitely not something I can help with.
I do have psionics, but at the moment, I'm a little 1 shook, 2 distracted, and 3 the only thing on her mind is Sasir said that there were people. We have to get to them.
Yeah.
That's fair. No, you know what? I'm gonna let it go because honestly. No, you know what? I'm gonna re-roll it because as soon as Rainier found out somebody fucked with them, they would actually want to know where it came from. So I will re-roll it.
All right.
That's worse.
Still bad. You got 1 and a 2.
I still
Not
don't
enough to
know.
crit
It's
fail.
fine.
Oh my god, I was scrolled way up in our rolls, so I was looking at like the middle of probably 2 episodes ago for like no reason.
Moving on. There's
Seven
crazy
should do
colored.
it now.
There's crazy colored blood in my eyes. I don't see shit.
I need to make a quick spirit roll because you mentioning bennies reminded me that I forgot to do this
Oh, yes.
beforehand.
Adelaide has to either deal with her past or ignore it.
Okay.
And she chooses to ignore it.
Cool.
All right.
I get my bennies. Phew. Okay.
You get all 3 bennies that you start out with normally.
Yes.
Bennies can be used for rerolls in those savage systems.
Among other cool things.
Yeah, you can add
I'm actually.
elements to scenes. You can do other shit with them.
You do other shit. I'm gonna go grab my book because it's been just long enough that I've actually forgotten everything bennies do. So I'm gonna go get that information on hand.
Somewhere there's this cheat sheet. I should just put it in the handouts section of this, but
I even built that cheat
Haven't
sheet,
done that
and
yet.
I don't remember what I did with it. Oh, I know. It's another chat is why. Nope. Note to self.
Okay. What can you do with bennies? All right.
To the whiteboard.
So, with that, you know there was another thing here.
Mm-hmm.
It's most likely that thing was fucking with you. Adelaide, having dealt with these specific things before, knows that the thing that was named but not fought was it the basalt demon that's the leader? It was the leader of these demons, most likely. These demons tend to be either led by a human who summoned them and control them, and they owe their fealty to it, or the kind of demon that generally in their hierarchy. Yeah, it's a Basal. I kept wanting to say basal demon because calling it a basil demon just sounds like it's delicious on pasta.
There's a pesto demon.
I've definitely eaten some pesto demons. Let me tell you, it is not a pleasant trip to the bathroom.
That's what you get for ordering Italian in Austin. But I feel like Austin probably still has good Italian food, so.
You think that?
Okay, well that's what you get for ordering Italian in Austin.
No, there probably is around here. Yeah. Anyway.
Let's see.
Anyhow, the basil demon looks kind of like Mojo, by the way. It's like a big, weird Mojo-looking demon with mechanical legs. It's got big, fleshy arms and a kind of weird, long face. It's kind of a nightmare to look at. It is smaller than the other demons, but more sonically powerful. It seems that this one has left the premises, not the premise. The premises. It's not like, well, this concept's dumb, I'm out.
I hate role-playing games. I'm leaving this whole thing.
And then it just leaves off the page. Fifth dimensionally, Mr. Mixiclick. All right.
It made me happy, thank you.
Yep. Now my brain was just like, did you pronounce Mixiclick correctly? And then I'm just like, I don't care. Okay. All right. Moving on with my brain. Which is something that's not always easy. The group of you look at the aftermath. This place was a town once. They said most of the information you got that most of the population had started to flee. And looking around, you can see the devastation that is the sometimes literal remains of some of the defenders. Like, there is clearly a cyborg that has been just torn to shreds. There's a couple of mechanized units that are in pieces and don't look like they have much salvageable at all. There's bodies around. There are still some people here that weren't able to get away or were brought back after they were hunted down a couple of days ago, over the last couple of days. And there are still some who are still alive here, who were being kept in a pen in the what used to be the indoor gymnasium of Nitro High School. I believe their mascot was the Gray Tigers. I forget. Did not write it down. Does not matter.
Will admit, I didn't either.
It was some kind of wildcat. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Sounds right. All right. But Carrie Neville, the techno wizard who drives the tour bus that hovers, the magical mystery tour bus, pulls into town. Warhol goes, I can't. Well, Warhol is looking around, sniffing at the ground, kind of feverishly. And Carrie goes, well, looks like things have calmed down for the moment. God, I hope he's still alive. See, did I give a name to her contact? Do not believe I did.
Don't think.
Random name generator, go.
Unelians was actually the name of her contact.
It was what?
Unelians.
Ooh.
Or Unelian.
Fuck, did you just call me?
Okay.
And as you start, Lady Adelaide, I'm rather sure you quickly make your way to the gymnasium where there are,
Yeah.
we'll say survivors.
And it's like once that thing is dead, honestly, before it's even really finished hitting the ground and rumbling to a stop, I'm already moving with considerable purpose towards where Sasir told me that there were still survivors.
You find cages of electrically powered cages that look like they used to be used for a large larger livestock that are that the people are in, and you quickly disassemble or destroy the things powering them. And there's about 25 people left. Mostly a little bit older. Mostly, you're more old, you're more young. They all seem badly shaken. Because, it's been a rough couple of days being, essentially tortured by these horrible mecha demons. That they thought their defenders held them off as long as they could, but that was basically no time at all. These things came out of nowhere, and as you talk to the people, you find very quickly there is a man named Ulian, or Unalian, who is kind of looks a bit like a gray alien, except he has kind of a unicorn horn as well. It is like kind of a longer face, but the gray alien-looking eyes, the gray alien-looking skin, the body of a humanoid, and a solid, kind of glittery unicorn horn. His skin is also a little glittery.
Making some notes here. Glittery.
Glittery gray alien with a unicorn horn.
Yeah. Forgive me. It's been a couple weeks here, so Neville was looking for this person. I'm trying to, because they had a lead on where we could
They are
find...
the mayor of this town. They were going to resupply here and then head off to one of two locations to
Okay.
before making the final trek towards Philadelphia.
I think without even realizing that she still has her Psyblade manifested throughout this whole sequence of, like just wrenching it through whatever device was keeping the pens locked and letting these people out and like looking around for this Unilian character. I think I find when I find him, God, I'm trying to think about how messed up I want to be about this, because there's an urge to be like, so what happened? But that's plainly obvious. So,
I'm just trying to decide if they're gonna get a word in, like, if you're gonna get a word in before, like, they take in our collective terrifying visage with our Psyblades and covered in alien or demon blood in your helmet.
They are a little freaked out by y'all, but not nearly as much as y'all as the giant demons that were just torturing them, and you did kill them kind of within sight of them. Mostly.
Oh, I thought, okay, I think it was inside. Never mind. Good.
I think the most personable thing I managed to get out of my brain is Neville is looking for you.
Neville is here? You hear it sounds like it's coming from two directions, and one of them's kind of like an echo, not in your head. Like if you wanted to block, this is just kind of like a transmission psionics that this person uses to speak, as well as a voice box. The voice box is a little fainter. It's much clearer in your head. If you wanted to block them out, it's easy, and you get the feeling, knowing psionics as you do, this is not the kind of thing that could be used to probe without your knowledge. Like if they are trying to probe your mind, using this kind of communication isn't how you do it. So this is just kind of like a passive, not too worrying form of communication that some beings have. You go, okay. Did our runners find you and send you?
A beat and just no, come on. And like I turn to walk back towards where Neville is. Indicating for him to like follow me.
Nealon looks down and somewhat on the thin limbs, somewhat walks, but walks very lightly as though they weigh a little less than gravity would suggest. They're a thin being with kind of long robes. They look a little clerical. They were kind of mayor of Nitro. But that has been all, torn up. And they walk on the ground, but in a very light step, suggesting there is some psionics in their movement. As they come over, Warhol is still sniffing around. Every now and then, Warhol will take one of his massive dragon claw paws and move a piece of rubble and carefully lift out a couple of corpses and lay them gently on the ground. This is a sad scene. This is the aftermath of a terrible tragedy. For this place. You do see people occasionally going into places and starting to gather things. There are others who are just comforting each other now that the giant monsters are gone and someone's come to help. It looks like this used to be a town of maybe 1,000, and you're down to about 25 people. And some probably got away early on. But when a town like this just gets hit with an overwhelming force, there's not much it can do about it.
I remember last time Neville had said that she called for help and that it was on the way. Got a radio wave out at some point during the fight. Do we see anybody else new approaching or no?
No.
Just the ones we saved. Okay.
That's also how we found out was the radio signal.
That was
That, and then Warhol was like, something's weird up there.
Yeah.
I think on the way, once that guy's located and I'm moving back in that direction, back out of the gymnasium, I think passing by Sasir, there's just a very curt see to the survivors, and I kind of turn and then duck around a corner. Not running off, but just walks past, very coldly delivers that, and then breaks around a corner. Where if left interrupted, I think what we see is a moment of I catch a reflection of myself in the glass of something, and realize I've still got this sword manifested, and it just kind of suddenly flickers out of my hand, and with shaky arms wrench the helmet off of my head, double over hands on knee style, and just all of lunch goes onto the ground.
All right, make a vigor check, actually, because you're still technically shaken. I mean, you will eventually lose this, but your vigor check is not good, so it takes you a long time. It will be some time before you can gain your composure.
Okay.
Rainier.
Mm-hmm.
You see Sasir get ordered to go do that. Rainier, Sasir, what do you do? You also see Ulian approaching Kari, and Kari just runs up and gives Ulian kind of a tackle hug. And Ulian kind of floats a couple of feet backwards from the force of it. But clearly both of them are crying. Actually, Unilian is not crying, as does not have tear ducts, but is kind of emits a light blue. The sparkles become blue.
Mood change sparkles. Love that.
Sparkles, blue, and sad.
I wrote glittery, mood sparkles.
Love it. Having Adelaide go by and be very stern.
Authoritative, I'd say.
Yeah.
Characteristically so.
Sasir would kind of there'd be a moment where she kind of like would freeze in place, and there'd be like a little shuffle under her bandana of like one of her ears twitching in the direction of Adelaide as she goes by. And keeping the ear on her, she just kind of slowly turns her head a little bit and likely can hear.
Right, you've got super good hearing. You would
Give me a notice
absolutely
check.
hear me.
Give me a
Yeah,
notice check. There's a lot happening. There's still...
that's fair.
Very
Yeah.
fair.
Forgot
That
about
is-
how good your ears are.
This try.
That's a 6. That's definitely good enough to hear Adelaide lose her lunch.
And a bit of dry heaving afterwards. It's not pretty.
There's like a... You can't see it because of the mask, but there's a wrinkling of Sasir's nose underneath. Squeezes her eyes shut for a second and shakes her head. And just didn't even have the chance to like really respond before Adelaide was like gone and just went... You just hear it in the radio in your ear, just like, you've got it. And then starts to walk towards Rainier. Because I have one order, it's to check on the survivors. I don't know if you and I want to split that or just follow each other around. I'm not sure which would be more effective.
Rainier looks oddly emotionless. Just standing around, like standing, kind of looking around, and not really reacting to anything. And they just kind of look down at you, like, frown in concentration, then smile. Nobody else around is smiling like this, and just kind of like, I should probably go with you.
It works for me. And there's one more radio wave over so that Adelaide can hear us going, remember to rehydrate, Adelaide.
Oh.
That's just a good advice after a battle.
She hears it, but you don't get a response over the radio.
Which she expects not to get one, honestly.
Yeah.
And just
Giving the
starts
thumbs
making
up to
the rounds.
yourself as you're leaned over.
And she just starts making the rounds with Rainier in tow as long as they want to follow, and just starts checking on
All right, give
the actual
me...
survivors.
Do you have any kind of social skills, Sasir?
Let's see.
Do you have... Let's just kind of get a vibe check of...
Yeah.
Because you are dressed like a mercenary, hiding something.
It's just persuasion.
Give me a persuasion with a +2, because
Oh.
you did help to save this place.
That's all I got to is persuasion. Everything else is not. Nope.
All right, there's a 4 there. People aren't frightened of you. They aren't like freaked out by you. Many of them are in shock.
Yeah.
You aren't a veteran of many battles like this, where you've not been to many towns where nothing remains. You've mostly seen either the aftermath or major cities.
Okay.
So all of this is a bit out of your experience. But you see people clearly in shock still. People clearly... Like, there are those who just do as, like, someone will tell them, go over there, and they will just move over there and then wait until someone else tells them what to do. There's people who are frantically trying to organize things that are being less than helpful sometimes. But some people whose only response is, well, now I need to fix everything, and there's nothing to be fixed here. They do... Unilian comes after, talks with Kari for a moment. Kari goes, well, I don't believe they're going to stay here. I know escorting a group is not part of your mission, but would you mind if we take them somewhere?
It's Not at all. And I'm pretty sure if I even thought the word no, Adelaide would come here and remove my tail. So, but of course I want to help everyone. It's a tragedy here, and
Unelian says they're going to try to get in contact with those that left. I did contact some of them. They should be here within the day. There's about 10 of them with vehicles, which could be useful in transporting people.
oh, it's good.
But they don't have much more than that and a couple of weapons in the way of defense.
I might be able to take a few things that were destroyed and maybe put something back together for now.
I think we should probably. Unelian goes, oh yes, we should probably. I would put an echo effect on my voice if I could. We should probably take several hours, maybe even the night, and then in the morning we should decide where to go tonight, and then in the morning we should head there.
That's I'm of no help with deciding anything on where to go, but I can definitely help with scavenging for things, just to make sure that people can get through the night. And I can definitely be part of the watch. I don't mind that.
Thank you. The town of Nitro, as much as it exists anymore, owes you a debt. All of you.
As no doubt, as far as I'm concerned, we did the right thing. So, as Rainier, I'm not sure where you might be at best use for this. I'm a little out of my element. I was told to help the survivors, but I'm a little better at finding things that might be useful to them. Would you maybe be better equipped with helping them in case they are injured or anything?
Oh, I'm not really adept at first aid, if that's what you're asking.
That's indeed what I am asking. Ugh. I can repair if anybody has cybernetics, but that's about it.
All the cybernetics, all those with cybernetics are no longer with us. It was an interest of the demons.
An interest?
I don't want to talk about it. Anyone with cybernetics did not survive.
I understand. Everything is excruciatingly fresh, so.
Kari goes, I have some skill at healing. I've got a couple of things in the van I can take out for anyone who's actively injured, but I feel like anyone who was injured didn't make it this far. So mostly I'll just be tending to people's nutrition and minor wounds. But no, if you can get a couple of equipment or vehicles, that's really what they need help with right now. Is gathering things and organizing, I guess.
Yes, I will gladly scavenge the town and see what I can find.
All right. You've got a edge, I believe. Is it Mr. Fix-It or is it MacGyver?
It's MacGyver's edge,
Or
like
Scavenger?
MacGyver edge.
Yeah.
And then I have Scrounger.
Scrounger. Read me
Recove.
Scrounger.
Rounger.
I know you have things for specifically this.
It does not say anything.
Oh, I didn't fill it in. All right.
Nope. It just says edge description.
We actually have the rules for this. So, Scrounger might be different. Edges.
Well, an edge is a boundary between two things where one thing stops and another thing starts. Usually what an edge is.
Sasir is built for scavenging. She has Scrounger, she's got
Okay. You
MacGyver.
suddenly dig up something, but is Scavenger and Scrounger different? I think Scrounger might actually be in the Rifts.
I believe the particular wording was Scrounger.
Gotcha. Then that I believe is in the Tomorrow Legion Player's Handbook. And it is on page. I'm just gonna look it up real quick to see how much stuff you get.
Yeah.
Scrounger, right there. Gain 2d4. Okay, so roll to network once per session. Rolling to network is a thing in a thing.
Thing and a thing.
That is in the Suede book.
We love a thing and a thing.
This is not a roll I have made before, but I believe it is generally just like Let's see. Let's look at the rules, because sometimes they're fun.
Sometimes rules. are
And if
helpful.
they don't
Make
get
it
in the way, and I can't think of immediately what I should have you rolling, probably a networking 132. Okay, networking. Generally it says persuasion. So you can either roll persuasion or a technical skill, like a science skill. Or repair. I'll let you roll repair for this.
I
to see how
have
much you get out of it.
repair. Yeah. Repair.
All right, would you roll?
Oh, got dual 4s.
Dual 4s is success twice. You find enough fuel cells to keep people moving, to power up a couple of smaller like farm vehicles. You find a garage that had collapsed. You help Warhol after Warhol seems a little cranky. Um, Moves a couple of large cement things out of what used to be a parking garage and unearths a couple of pickup trucks that are in working order.
Nice.
So you will not, between that and the forces that do come in the next couple of hours, like slowly make their way in. The 10 people get there on like a couple of hover bikes and a couple of slower moving things. You get enough that you won't have a problem transporting these people. These people won't slow you down immensely. Moving with a group this large is always slower, but it's not going to be like 2 days of travel. It's going to be just probably 1 day.
Nice.
Because you have found enough to keep everything and everyone moving.
Yeah, while Sasir is out there, she updates everyone as she finds things. Just so everyone is like completely to the minute updated. Just so everyone can kind of take in, like, okay, in case there's a plan going on where they're like, well, we can't take that because we don't have the room. Now they might have the room to take an extra thing that they didn't think they could. So,
Travel
but she's
will
just
be
out there with a
less
Warhol.
arduous.
Sweet.
Vernier, you're kind of in the middle of all these people. They're all a little standoffish of you, as you are an imposing figure. Unless you make a move to socially interact with them, they seem to kind of give you a wide berth.
Oh, nope. Honestly, they're fine with that. Because they don't know how to help, really. Unless it's just kind of like, they're like, kind of watching everybody start bustling around and moving. And then if it just kind of keeps hearing like, we were told to help the survivors. We were told to help the survivors. And it's just going. And then sees people start like gathering things and moving. And will just kind of smile down at whoever it is and just pick up something if it's larger and just help them carry it out to wherever they're going. And just like, be like, okay, I can ferry things. And that's all they're gonna do is just move stuff until there's nothing to move. And then it's just kind of.
You find an older woman who walks with a cane. She looks to be about, ancient, as far as anyone could describe an age of her. She goes to the door of a house, puts the key in, and then the door does not budge. And goes, "You there, with the ears. You will help me, yes?"
You need to get inside.
"Yes."
Just comes over and just kind of, you might want to step aside a little bit.
It takes her a moment to step aside.
Yeah. Just waits. Looks down. She seems clear and will just basically try to kick the door in.
Give me an athletics roll.
Sure. Let's see how this goes. That's good.
That's a hit with a raise.
Yeah.
You kick in the door, but not so hard it explodes.
I'm thinking if the place is busted at all, that it just kind of does one of those like in and down.
Yeah, it's just like a bit of dust rises up from the rubble. Part of the roof of this building is caved in. This looks like it used to be some kind of back in the day, you could imagine it was like an outbuilding where a lot of equipment could have been stored that's been converted over the last 100 years into a living space for this old woman. And you see what looks to be a kind of like old style china cabinet filled with little figurines. None of the figurines or china cabinet is damaged, but like the roof right next to it is completely gathered. And she goes, "Oh, do see if you can find a box. We're taking my precious babies with me."
And just it's not strange at all. Just, I can do that. And just starts looking for a box. She wants to take her trinkets.
Yeah, you go around. She takes up a lot of your time doing this. And she has you carefully, like, she wraps each one, gives them a kiss, wraps it in, like, light paper that she had in this cabinet. She says, "This isn't the first time we've had to move these." And puts them in the box. As she wraps up, she hands one to you. It's essentially a Precious Moments figurine. What does it look like?
Oh, no. I'm trying to decide if I wanted to be funny, accurate, or ironic.
I couldn't, so I made you.
Because funny, accurate would be like, I mean, you know, I've seen Precious Moments figures. They had little, like, skiing kids and whatever. Yeah. But ironic would be like a little kid, a little pudgy kid in a bathing suit, like holding a beach ball. And I'm just like, no.
Well, that's what it is now.
Yeah, sold.
There you go.
Takes it, looks at it, kind of cocks their head to the side, smiles, and then just tucks it away.
Yeah, she hands it to you, and as you touch it, this thing is special.
Oh no.
Do you have like an automatic detect magic or anything? I don't remember if you do or not. But you are.
I have naturally magic.
Okay, so roll on your. I don't think you have got a. Do you have a magic spellcasting trait? No, just make a spirit check for me.
Oh no. Oh yeah. Okay, just this, just straight.
Yeah, just hit your spirit button. There you go. You got a 7, which is a success. You also got a 1, but you also got a 7.
Every time it's like pink, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, but you get 2 rolls. In this system, you get the wild die. And in this, your wild die was a 6, so it exploded and then became a 7.
Okay.
So you've succeeded. Not quite with a raise. So you do know that this trinket that this old, weird, wise woman gave you was one of like 200 she have, and has some magical property to it. You don't feel the need to, well, you wrap it in a light paper, and you feel like that will keep it safe.
Okay. And then they just tuck it gently into a pouch that they have, which is filled with God knows what. I have not made a list yet. And just kind of, if anybody were to know them, there's a little bit of like warring in their head for a moment as they basically run calculations of exchange and then just look down and smile again, that again, way too sweet for the situation that's happening. And it's just like, do you need me to carry this for you?
That was the plan, yes, dear.
And just picks it up gently and walks out of the house with it.
With the box of them? The box, carrying the box, she's paying you to carry the box of them. It seems as though she innately understood what you would want and require.
That saves all of us an awkward conversation.
Yes. Yes, she needs a name. She needs a name. We're gonna go with...
Got a gift. So let's give the Fae a gift. Good.
Mallory Valencia.
Yeah.
Or Madame Valencia.
Ooh.
Madame. Ooh.
Oh.
Hmm.
Oh. Skex's noises.
Mhm.
Ew.
Ew.
Adam.
Just the Skeksis noises. It's just if you didn't have context for that, just saw those two words, you'd be just like, those are not good noises. All right. Adelaide, it takes you a little bit to pull yourself together.
Yeah.
You might not have thought about these specific demons in years. Or you might have actively tried to not think about them in years, but unfortunately had to.
Yeah, a lot of bad nightmares about these demons.
No one's gonna come and bother you.
I think, huh. So a bit of a meta question here. What's the running water situation in a place like this? Like, do they have a well somewhere, or can
They
I like
do have
find
a
a faucet?
the faucets here have been hooked up to a well. There was a pump here. It appears that there is also a techno wizard pump here that someone had put in, but it's not on the ley line, so it's not like constant. But occasionally people who were able to would power it and be able to get water that way.
Oh, okay.
The demons have filled the swimming pool because they could with the techno water pump, because those demons specifically are an unending supply of PPE while alive.
Right.
They can just generate a low level of PPE that would be used to power all kinds of bad shit.
Okay.
And they like to exploit that. So if they found this thing, they probably they did bad things with things they could do. The pump is still there. You are able to get water flowing. It does take a little bit to unblock some like systems that had been broken intentionally.
Okay.
Just destroyed. Yeah.
I think there's like a moment of frustration with the like she kind of pushes herself up and sort not stumbles but like shuffles over to where this pump is and tries to start getting it working, and there's just sort of that initial like it's not working. She just kind of like shakes it a little bit and is, again sort of uncharacteristically like frustrated with this stupid machine, and cranks it on the side and it hums to life, and as soon as she's got water like spilling out of the spigot on it, just leans down and shoves her head into the stream of water, um, washing out just like the absolute mountain of sweat and grime that's built up in her hair, and the turning her face up towards it to wash away, like the snot and tears and just yuck that had accumulated as she had a really crappy moment to herself for a time there. And while she's down there, just like reaches up and like wrenches off the gauntlets on her armor just to kind of rub her face a bit with her actual bare hands to try and ground herself a little bit. And I think as her head comes back up, uh, and I'll spend a Benny for this if I have to, but like I think as her head comes back up, we see Warhol's there.
Okay. You don't have to spend a penny for Warhol to be there.
Great. And I think the two of them just sort of like she looks over at him and just like stares at him in the eyes for a moment and just like reaches up a hand to try to like pet the side of Warhol's head.
He doesn't move or flinch, or even he also doesn't nuzzle in. But he does take the water you started going, and rinse what is clearly scraps of demon out of his paws. Out of his claws, I should say.
Yeah. Some warrior of justice I turned out to be, huh, big guy?
You kind of get a big...
Yeah. No, good point. And like from underneath the cloak and out of a pouch on a belt or something somewhere, there's just she grabs like a strip of leather or cloth or something and pulls her now just like wet hair back into something resembling a ponytail. Reaffixes the earpiece into her ear and turns back to where there are crowds of people, wherever she can see crowds of people moving around, with an eye towards looking for wounded.
All right. Like I said before, you do find minor, like people who are not horribly injured, but do need some tending. These demons didn't bother to set broken limbs or anything. They didn't they just kept their captives captive. So there's a couple of things like that where you can be useful. But it's not long before Unelian goes, the leader of them seems to have departed. We don't know which way it went. It probably turned itself invisible as it fled.
Yeah, unfortunately, we weren't quite as thorough as I might have hoped tracking them down, so we're not sure either. It's definitely not safe here, though. It looks like you guys are packing up to move. Do you have a destination in mind?
We there's not a ton of great options in this close area that we know well enough to trust. There's two major towns we could head to. The closest would be Char, the other would be Pitts.
Am I familiar with Pitts?
Pitts is it's sometimes known as the Pit. It is the ruins of Pittsburg, which is a city that has a major techno wizard kind of like smelting plant.
Okay.
The other is Char, which has a steel tree production. Char's got a bit of a worse reputation for tolerating bad shit. But whoever tries to pull anything there has to deal with a significant amount of forces that call Char home. So there are more unsavory characters in Char, but Char's a little more dangerous because there are bad forces there that the people who run it are like, we can't make them go away. But if we don't let them do things, but we can't force them out.
Yeah.
So there will occasionally be Splugorth that move people through Char or do some trading there. They don't stay there long as far as word has been to you, but Char's an unsavory place. Pit.
Yeah.
Recent reports of the Pit says the Foundry recently had some kind of meltdown, and change in ownership as the elementalist that was controlling it kind of died under weird circumstances.
Oh, great.
But it is still a functioning techno-wizard city. His son is taking control of the Foundry. It's a little bit black markety, but not nearly as, wild as Char.
Sure.
And both are good places to resupply if you're going to head towards the coast.
All right. Well.
Yeah. As you sit there, you start organizing things, and you hear what sounds like a classic Nokia ringtone coming from one of your pockets.
Just a blink, blink. The hell? And yeah, I start searching. There's a very confused moment as like I'm searching through. The gauntlet's now just like hanging off the back of my belt as I'm still using my bare hands for things as I'm like rooting through. What the?
You find a card on it, and on it, I believe, was only a name. It's a black card with an embossed name. Was it Maggie?
Right.
I believe it was. It just says Maggie.
Yeah.
The card is shaking and kind of like the M is glowing slightly.
That's not suspicious. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Blink at it a couple of times. Blink up at the person I was talking to. And hold up the card in front of my face.
As you do,
Hello?
you press on it and you hear, oh, hello.
To whom do I have the pleasure?
Oh, you know who this is. Do you need anything?
As I take a look around at this scene, this carnage.
I understand that something recently got away from you, and I should tell you. One of my abilities is tracking things down and eliminating them.
I'm gonna regret asking how the hell you know that, aren't I?
Oh, I just won't tell you, so only
That's
if you
what I
regret
figured.
me not telling you.
I do.
Okay.
Okay. So I hold up a finger just to, as if the, 1 second, I need to take, actually, no, I just said, 1 second, I need to take this, and step a few feet away, again, just holding up the, there he is, just holding up the business card in front of me. What's this gonna cost me?
I have very reasonable rates compared to my, let's say,
I doubt it.
brethren. I will start at 1 minute of your time, to be decided at a later date.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
1 minute, huh?
60 seconds to destroy a. Hold on a moment. What was that? It's a basil demon? Yes, I can do a basil demon for a minute. Yes.
You're gonna, I thought you were gonna track this thing down. You're gonna kill it for me too?
Yes.
I suppose you could wrap it in a bow.
I mean, I could when it's dead, but what's the point?
Just
Then
trying
I'd
to
have.
break tension here. Sorry, you'll have to forgive me here. It's sounding a little too good to be true.
Oh no,
No.
it's not. It's a minute of your time. I get to choose how you spend that minute.
I
Kinky.
turn the card over in my hands a little bit. Deal.
Oh no.
How am I gonna know that you finished the job, though?
Ooh, that is. I could, if you would care, I could have it I could have proof transmitted to you in a number of ways. How do you feel about magic pigeons?
My
The
best friend
easiest
is
way
a
to get
magic
the
pigeon.
message to you. I could also have it psychically delivered to you, couriered to you, but that's expensive to me, and I'd rather
the pigeon
not.
will do. The pigeon's fine.
Excellent.
We get like a wide shot of her shouting a card. A pigeon's fine.
Sasir's ears just kind of twitch somewhere and just go, what?
Pigeon's fine.
Excellent. I'm just writing up the terms so I have it clear. In exchange for 1 minute of your time, which I will choose how you spend, I will track down and kill a basalt demon immediately. I will not delay in this. I will have it done probably within 2 days, as tracking them does take some time, but I will not delay on other things and not take other contracts in the meantime until I have completed yours. Though I will choose at a later date for 1 minute of your time. Do you agree? Or are there any things you'd like to be certain about before you agree to this?
No.
Excellent.
The less I know, probably the better. Hey, how do I get rid of this card, by the way? I don't seem to be able to.
I kind of hooked it to you. So you can, if you die, it would probably go to one of the other two you were with at the moment, as I put all three of you on the list, but you were the main one, so I put you first.
Thanks.
Primary contact.
Good to be loved.
But now that I know you are willing to talk to me, I don't feel the
Willing
need
is a
to.
strong word.
Okay. Tell yourself what you'd like, but you answered. So I think you could find it useful in the future, but I will no longer contact you when the psychics tell me something happened that might require my services.
The psychics?
Oh, yes. They are very good if you give them very specific parameters, and I told them, well, one of my pet psychics, I should say, that, hey, you'll continue to get fed if the next time that Lady Mercy Adelaide is in danger and in need of a task completed on a major scale that fit my needs, that let me know so I could contact you.
No, you don't need to do that.
I won't.
I'm turning the card
Because-
over my hand.
You know how.
Oh, I see. Okay.
If
Cute.
you need me,
I only
will
need
it
you to
into the
do-
card.
I
Now
only
you
to
need me
do-
to go away. I understand.
No, no, no. I need you to do one thing for me.
Yes.
Don't call me Lady Mercy. I shove the card back into my pouch, pocket, whatever.
The card is deactivated.
You can now only play Snake on it.
It's out of minutes.
Yeah.
No, it only places calls one way outwards. There's only one number programmed. Magically speaking.
It's a magical jitterbug.
If you looked at it in your inventory, it would have the soulbound tag,
Oh god.
and the party bound tag.
Great.
Oh.
One
Oh,
more
it
reason
sounds
not to
fine.
die.
Yeah.
Great.
That doesn't
Good.
sound concerning at all. I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
Magical nanny cam. Love it.
Yeah.
Well, less so now, I suppose, but I don't believe her. Okay, great.
I'm just getting out a
Shove-
colored marker to highlight some things in my notes.
Please do. I take a moment as I'm just like rubbing the temples on the side of my head. One thing at a time.
More highlighters.
More colors.
All right. So I turn back to the person I was talking to. Right, okay, we need to get you a destination, then somewhere safe you can hold over on until. I guess you're gonna need a new home now, huh?
Some of us will go different places. Some of us will stick together. Ulian says. But we don't wish to inconvenience you deeply with our
With
plight.
your.
But
with
this
your heavyweight-
town will not survive on 25 people and hard work.
No.
This town is dead. They killed it.
I'm sorry. I don't
Thank
suppose
you
you've
for
ever
your
heard of.
sympathy.
I don't suppose you've ever heard of the Tomorrow Legion.
Only from Kari just now. Some of us may choose to head in that direction, but I believe most of us will probably remain the next place we go until that's no longer viable.
I guarantee Castle Refuge will always have a home for you. If not,
As long as the castle stands, I believe that to be true.
well, there's not a lot I count on in this world, but sun going up and down, water being wet, and Castle Refuge standing. If you'll excuse me, I should start seeing to some of these people, though.
Oh, Castle Refuge always stand. Let me get a colored marker to mark something.
She has to believe in something, damn it.
Yeah.
It's all she has left.
It's a good, strong belief that not everyone seems to share.
Understandably so.
So, the night passes. If anyone has anything they want to do or anyone they want to interact with, if any fun scenes they think would be interesting, I'm open to them. I don't have any specific ideas as people gather their shit and start gathering things.
So we do need to decide where the hell we're going next, right? Because it's either
Yes.
Char or the pit, and I would like to
Yes.
take a moment to have that discussion between the characters, actually.
Oh, okay. Roll me. Actually, I should say, roll me a common. Everyone can roll me a common knowledge to see how much they know about these two places. Sasir, I'm going to give you a +1 on this as someone who passed through those two areas. Who passed through at some point the area, probably around. Actually, you might have gone through a wide way around, but you might know something about the pit.
Not
Nope, I
Sasir
don't know
doesn't know
goddamn
shit
thing.
about shit.
I did
you
it.
did not go through the pit. Rainier, you have heard of both
I
of
thought
the
I
pit and
did.
Char? Yeah, Sasir's like, oh, that's the one where this happens in Michigan, and everyone's like, no. Adelaide, on the other hand, got
Alright,
a 14,
Yeah, please ignore that second roll. I was
And a 10.
technical difficulties.
a 14 out of, with the difficulty being 4.
Yeah,
Alright.
so the hit with a raise and
Several raises.
another raise.
And another one. Um, as DJ Khaled pops in for a second, just to let you know, there's two of them. All right. So the town of the Pit is kind of a little bit of a magocracy slash plutocracy run by like the powerful business people that run the town. It is decently stable, very well defended. Recently, there was a big incident where the elementals that lived in the steel forge of Pittsburg rose up and just went wild after the man controlling them was assassinated. Several magic forces, uh, several major magical people in the town had to act in concert, which was not something they used to ever do, in order to put down these rampaging elementals and retake control of them. There's different theories about why he was assassinated, but everyone just says it's some black market shit he was in too deep on. It all breaks down to just some black market bullshit. You know, that's clearly the Occam's razor of conversation is his son is definitely involved in the black market and is now taken over. His son and him did get along well, but the theory is it was someone coming for his son that caused him to die, and then his son ultimately took control, and has been mourning his father for, I believe, about a year or two, a year and a half, maybe. All of this was very recent. Also, a couple prominent people in town died as well in that, including, I believe the wife died. Did the wife die as well? I don't remember. All of these were things that happened in a previous game, but they didn't happen on screen, and I don't remember every word that I said about them. So, but
I don't
the
remember
town
either.
of
Fair enough.
Pittsburg took major damage and is still recovering from that, but is still a city with quite a few techno wizards, quite a few magical, forces at its command, and well defended. If you're willing to put up with an underbelly of kind of like mafia style corruption, it's not a bad place to live. And it is far less dangerous than a lot of the places. It's often a good point to head off to other places as well. Char,
Makes a good pit stop, you would say then.
you could.
I did.
Then I'd have to mute you.
Char, on the other hand, is famous for its steel tree facilities and creating weapons and armor out of steel tree. Steel trees are mega damaged trees that are kind of like a metallic blue. There are those who have learned to work the trees magically and industrially without magic. Char has a lot of crime. There are renowned, like the gangs of Char are a thing. It's gang factions pretty much run different parts of the city. It's much more kind of rough and tumble town. And like I said, evil forces sometimes make pit stops in there and are not shy about it. Whereas if an evil force came to Pit, it might be a little less open about its nature. The Pit does not have. Char's been known to, like, if you come in with, humans enslaved, they won't try to take them from you, but they won't tolerate the selling of people in their city. But short of that, and even then, sometimes they're not fully in control. The government of Char. It is a little more easy to get the things you might need to go towards Philadelphia it's cheaper in Char than it is in Pitt, but Pitt's probably going to be less hostile overall.
Okay. I imagine we've set up somewhere. Like, I don't know if we're back like maybe like outside the bus or near the bus, or at like a campfire outside the bus as night's kind of
Yeah, the
creeping
bus
up
is
on
kind
us.
of pulled into the bus loop outside of what used to be the front of the high school, and is there. The gym area is no one wants to stay there,
Yeah.
but there's not a lot of good places left standing.
So in my head, I'm imagining this. Like I start by like laying out this information, rather than going over like literally, duplicating everything that Kevin just said. But I start like laying out this information to the gathered, which certainly is you two, possibly, well, almost certainly Kari Neville,
Kari.
Neville, Kari. My notes do not have that phonetically. Kari Neville, and Unilian, and like I don't know, remember like what time of year it is, so I don't know if it's like cold outside, if we would need like light, obviously, but I don't know if we need like the heat of. Could it be like some kind of techno wizard device that?
Kari definitely has the equivalent of one of those like butane powered lamps.
Yeah.
Like that you see at restaurants that have outside eating in the winter.
I
Propane.
imagine it's like a squat one of those, but of course it's got like weird copper tubing along one side, and it's like encrusted with crystals along another.
Yeah, and there is actually it comes up into kind of like a big umbrella, and you see on the edge of it is also like sprinklers that are not turned on at the moment.
Good. Worrisome. And so I imagine we're kind of like squatting around that and get through that spiel and just sort of like lean back against the side of the bus. And that's the choice we've got sitting in front of us. It's a little out of our way and a bit more awkward to get our supplies, but ostensibly safer or cheaper, more direct, but well, how much do you like being roughly and tumbly? Thoughts?
I'm not bothered by either.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me. But you, Sasir.
At some point during Adelaide's explanation of the two towns, I have this like I can hear the separation of like a sealed foil bag. Because at some point while scavenging the town, I imagine she found like a bag of chips and decided this is a great fucking time to open them.
That bag of chips is literally 300 years old. It
Uh,
is diet corn nuts.
Oh no. It is the apocalypse.
It's flaming hot diet corn nuts.
They called me in college.
she's part trash panda. She might be okay, but like, just kind of just that noise that everybody that squeaky, like, and then that sudden like poof of a bag opening interrupts Adelaide at some point. It's just kind of there's just that like sunglasses or like the goggles are down. And she's got, like, her mask down because they're probably not... Like, all the other people are probably, like, asleep and resting and stuff. And she's like... carry on. And just would start trying to eat what's in this bag, regardless.
Yeah.
It's, like, half of them are flavorless, and half of them have soaked in the juices of their fallen brethren for hundreds of years.
Fantastic.
Metal shit I've heard.
Each one is a roll of the dice, whether it will just be inedible because of cardboard or inedible because of capsaicin gone wild.
I'm so
Bag of
happy.
adventures.
God, I'm so happy.
Congratulations, you're eating a random encounter table.
Inedible is in the mouth of the beholder, I think. She's probably just like, it's not bad. They've had worse. Just
It's true, actually. You probably have.
and it's just like she's probably through most of the bag by the time Adelaide gets through the whole thing.
Yeah,
And just because it's a lot to cover, and she's trying to like take it all in. But there's definitely like that like there's sometimes there's crunch and sometimes there's no noise, like the weird texture difference. Unfazed, just keeps moving.
I think the only comment you get is there's just like the occasional pause as like the squeaking, and then like at the pop there's just a as I was saying, and then continues on.
Rustle, crunch. But when asked about the two, like what her preference is between the two towns, Sasir kind of just looks in the bag, mostly empty, and she shakes it around, and like while she's thinking, goes, well, in my opinion, we should go to wherever they are most likely to help these people and not be a potential problem. I am aware of a few things that people may do to refugees or people that don't exactly fit in with the normal crowd. Char sounds a little tough for who we have in tow now. But would the pit be an issue for any one of us?
Not find my notes on the pit, so I apologize for when I get things wrong. But it's totally cool.
It's not the three of us I'm worried about. We can handle ourselves in either town and to either extent. And generally speaking, I'm inclined to agree with you. Taking kindly to people isn't something we're going to get in either case. This is a shades of shit scenario. But help can often come along with money or service, and I think some of the more empowered individuals at the pit might, if placated, be able to look after these people until they've moved on to wherever they're going next.
That placated how?
Money, typically. Favors, if we don't have enough money.
I mean, we are mercenaries. It's a favor from us is pretty much the same across the board, no?
Unilian says, my people are capable of working and do have some saved assets that we are willing to expend. I've been talking, and some of them, depending on which way we go, the pit does sound like more of an access point to the rest of the world. I believe some of them would head up towards Queenston. Queenston Harbor, which is a smuggling port where there are literal river pirates on the Great Lakes. Or headed towards the magical city of Laszlo for some of them.
Dara wants to
Possibly
meet the river pirates.
the dwarven river pirates, the nerd dwarves,
Amazing.
techno wizard river pirates.
You just
Anyway.
keep adding words and it sounds cooler. Stop it.
I'm just too busy making a note about river pirates on the Great Lakes. There you go.
So good.
The coalition is also on the Great Lakes. Yeah, the lakes are a bit rough.
Then it sounds like we have an accord then. We make for the pit.
Some will head east towards Dwomer once we get to Pitt, or some of the other places in the magic zone where they were taking in refugees from the wars recently. Let me look at this map I have pulled up in my notes. Yes, some of them will be headed to the pit, or actually,
I just put a one hand very gently up towards Unilian, and one step at a time, friend. One step at a time.
sorry,
Let's get you guys. It's okay. You've been through a lot out here, and I think a reasonable night's sleep and then getting as much distance between this place and moving on will do everyone some good. As I look around our group here.
okay. And with that,
Exactly.
then yeah, and with that, the night settles down. Watches are set. Warhol continues to kind of pace throughout the night. Doesn't seem to sleep, which is when you've seen Warhol around Castle Refuge, was either palling around with Tannhauser or sleeping.
The cat.
This is the most anyone has ever seen Warhol active. Warhol is just like walking circles around this town, smelling the air in a clear vigilance posture of like, ain't shit coming in here.
Adelaide sees a lot of that from the top of the bus. She doesn't sleep that night either. You are welcome to hit me with fatigue points as you see fit on that.
I will have you make a vigor roll in the morning.
Okay.
I'm sure there's rules for it. Not gonna look them up right now because now I think is a good time to take a short break. It's
Yeah.
9:30. All right,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
thank you everybody for joining us. I will attempt to find the name of the major NPCs I set up in this town that I have lost.
Oh no.
Jeez.
Some of whom are still alive. I just don't remember their names. It's not because I found my old bones notes. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna take a short break. Go ahead, get yourself some water, get yourself some hydration, move around, use the restroom. Remember to be the people you are. All right, so we'll catch you soon. We'll hope to be back 5-10 minutes. See you soon. Hello, and we're back, I assume.
I actually gave you a countdown this time.
You did. You did. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. So, the group has decided to take these 25-some people, and head north towards the pit, what used to be Pittsburg. It will take a full day to get there. The distance is long. It is not without dangers, as you are in the wilds. You heading further east, you'd hit mountains. You're gonna pretty much head north, avoiding the edges of the magic zone, because that's where reality starts getting a little weird more often. Let me see. What is the distance between Pittsburg? And it's about 200 miles, so that will be a full day of active travel, which will be stressful and tiring. So Fox, go ahead and give me a vigor check or an endurance check. There are some things that give you bonuses to this kind of endurance check.
Not that I am aware of or
I don't-
have.
Yeah, you probably don't have them then.
No. So, vigor. A pow.
Oh,
What were your numbers? You got a
It was
9,
a rate.
so
I have
you're
9
good.
before.
Ow!
You don't recover on like stuff. You don't get like +1 endurance, but you are not burnt out by the night of staying awake and the trudging march for all of you. I don't know if one day is long enough to do an interlude for all of you. But how about, so there is something in the Savage World, not in the Savage World books, in the Suede books called interludes, which I think are always little interesting character bits. Let me
Sure.
look it up. I think I just wanted one of you to do an interlude.
Feel like are we picking or are you picking?
Y'all can pick. I was gonna roll dice, but if one of you thinks you don't get to pick which interlude you do, we will pick. We will then pull a card to see what it is.
I vote our illustrious leader who just had a moment. And we're both just like
This is weird. I don't know how I
Okay.
feel about this, but okay.
All right.
Sure.
Do you have access to pull a card from the deck, or can only I do that?
Could probably Google pull a random card.
One moment.
Yeah.
Aha! 9 of diamonds is what I pulled.
9.
9!
It
Alright.
haunts us.
So, interludes, you have three options: downtime, backstory, or trek. Downtime, the character studies or works on an object of some sort. What is it? Backstory, something your hero wants or already has. It might be a material possession, recognition, a political goal, or even a trip they wish to take to some amazing destination. Trek, how the group found something that helped them along the way, such as an oasis, mine of treasure, ammo, food, friendly locals, etc. None of these involve a roll. This is straight tell me a story.
Okay.
And you can make up elements of this story or include elements as long as you don't go. And then we defeated the coalition.
Okay.
And I took over and made everyone nice. Yeah.
Kick one coalition guy in the nuts.
Yeah, definitely. But if you find a coalition guy out here, that meant there was a fight.
So you need me to pick from one of those three options then?
So something you're working on, something you have or want, or something you found along the way.
Okay.
As a story prompt.
Sure. Something we found along the way, I think, makes a lot of sense considering we're currently in motion. Okay. So what did that card I pull inform?
Diamonds was the type of hearts would have been a different sets of things.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So, well, real quick then, what kind of terrain are we moving through?
You're moving through not Middle Eastern, Eastern United States on the other side of the Appalachians kind of forest. Why would I say it like that? There's not a ton of rivers or water in the area. It's not super hilly. The ley line, it is very forested though.
Okay.
The ley lines in this area aren't majorly active like they are in the Magic Zone. You could move up towards Cheat Lake, which does have a river that heads up to Pittsburg. And the forces around here are mostly small tribal groups, the occasional wandering monster of danger, the Shimerians, the other things like that. Yeah.
I think the initial part of the trek, like we don't have a lot. Like we've got our large dragon cat friend, and we've got our techno wizard bus. But the rest of the remaining like 25 people that we're shuffling along don't really have transport as such.
They do have some transport as Sasir helped them. That's what's keeping this from taking like 3 days. Is Sasir helped find like trucks and other moving machines that are able to handle some terrain. It is slow going as occasionally you've got to kind of like level some terrain for them to get through when it's too thickly forested. There's one area you level some terrain, and pretty much as soon as everyone's through it, it starts regrowing at a strangely fast rate.
Okay. We're not anywhere near where there's dinosaurs, right?
What do you mean? This is America. You aren't in Dino Swamp, but there are dinosaurs.
Because I imagine it's I like the idea of like we're making our way through these overgrowth areas, and like we're cutting things down, and trying to like clear a path for like this flatbed truck that Sasir's managed to get working. But this thing, it doesn't fly, it's not on treads, it's just an old kind of shitty flatbed, and we're driving it along, and we're running into an issue here, and we start hearing this like rumbling, and everybody
Would
kind of
you-
stops. And
Would you like to know what kind of dinosaurs have been found in West Virginia, which is roughly the area you're in? Or are
I
you good?
would if I have a specific idea in mind is the thing. um and we hear this rumble, and like everybody like stops and kind of looks around going, earthquake? And then there's a rumble again, and it's like, uh-oh, it's big robots or something, and weapons like start coming out and getting drawn. And like we see Warhol's like kind of nose kind of goes up in the air and gets this very like confused, and like then goes like running after some direction. And then there's a third rumble, and we realize that they're coming at very regular intervals. And we push through this clearing, and we see that heading northward, there's this just massive butt with a very massive tail coming off the back of it, pushing through the overgrowth in the area. And yeah, like I mean, it's Rift's Earth, so like, what if you took a brontosaurus and made it like way too wide and a lot flatter? Um, the worst part about this is like, Kevin, what comes to my mind immediately is a goddamn Magic the Gathering reference, because I'm thinking of like a Craterhoof behemoth kind of situation, which is like, to describe it, it's like, imagine if a hamburger was a dinosaur. It's this big, flat, the front of it slightly pointed, this rounded creature that is very wide, very huge, and has these gigantic, almost turtle-like. It's like a giant turtle without a shell. Massive fucking thing.
It's such a good boy. Look at it. I
It's
love
so
Yeah.
it.
huge.
It's
It's
so
fucking
good.
big.
I'll put a
And
picture of it in the Rift's Discord on Riley's thing once I isolate a good picture of it from the internet.
And it's making its way across, and like as it's these massive paws just into the ground. It's kind of clearing a path, and while it's not the fastest way, it's steady, and we can still see those the area like rapidly regrowing behind it as it trundles through. But I imagine it's a very like, oh shit, no, we need to get the trucks over there, so like everybody come on, fucking push, and we like shove in, and we're cramming up against and using our psychic powers to like just shove this truck through this like tangled vines and bushes and cutting it through, and we push through to the other side. And there's this just massive butt and tail of this enormous pale green lizard-like creature that's, it's like 3 football fields wide. It's fucking enormous. And we're like, okay,
It's only 5'5".
follow the big scaly butt. And as a result, we're able to make the trip a little easier for the folks, and a little cleaner and clearer, if a bit smellier.
Yeah, this thing doesn't so much leave one giant poop as just like
Oh god.
process as it goes.
Sounds about right.
It does make you all move a good bit faster. It saves you several hours on your journey as this enormous literal behemoth. And I put the picture in the chat, but do note the scale of birds in that picture. That is art that is good at portraying scale in that case. Sometimes Magic the Gathering art, it's hard to tell, is this thing 20 feet tall or 1,000 feet tall? This thing is real big. It's hundreds of feet tall. Maybe 200 feet tall almost. But yeah, it is a entire building. You don't see you don't see anything. Yeah. Things are getting out of the way of it. There are those, like, many, as this thing comes, there are entire species of bird that are just like, well, I guess we don't live here anymore, and just go. but it means your path is very much smoother. You do see a number of like scorch marks along its thick skin. It's not even like chitin; it's just dense skin, where things have tried to shoot at it and tried to take it down. You see remnants of like harpoons in some of its like giant legs that have like with mega damage cord coming off of them that they clearly tried to like surround it like an AT-AT walk or an AT-ST is the four-legged?
It's AT-AT. Yeah, it's an
Like an
AT.
AT-AT, like an ATA, and they tried to take it down like in Star Wars, and it just did not succeed. It just walked through their bullshit. But the wake of this thing means you're unlikely to have massive predators, and you are unlikely to encounter significant every now and then you do have to get like this thing just walked across a gorge and you've got to somehow get across it as well. So it speeds things up immensely. It's evening now. And you're about I want to say you're about a couple hours, you're only like 3 hours out of the pit. Would you like to push on through the night, or are you going to rest up and get there in the morning? Is the call the group has to make now.
I mean,
What's the
do you like to bust into a city at night, or do you like people to be awake in order to accommodate you?
fair point? I'm thinking more in terms of like what's the state of everybody that's kind of with us, which is 100% where Adelaide's mind is at, is taking care of these people.
Some of them are old, many of them are somewhat injured and exhausted. They're willing to push on if they have to. They'd rather be safe than in another dangerous situation. But it'll be hard to push these people. It's they're capable of it. But it will mean making some checks.
Well, my vote, as much as I don't like staying out in the wild, is to give them the night.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Agreed.
All right. They quickly agree to it. But this does mean making a couple different checks. Does anyone have survival?
Yes.
Hey, roll me a survival.
I have a really, really bad survival.
That is a 5. That's a 5. And what did Sasir get?
A 5.
A 5 as well. The two of you are able to go around and gather amongst with assistance from the few remaining, like, farm boys, not exactly farm boys, but the retired farmer that lived in Nitro, and a couple of the weaker, younger defenders that were just like 14-year-old boy with laser rifle that had been sent to go over here while we like take these people and go while we try to defend this place.
Mm-hmm.
That guy is still with you, and between the two of you and those guys' assistants, you're able to get enough to eat well tonight. There's deer still. There's like plenty of deer. There's a lot of wild animals that are, back because civilization is not really taking up the amount of space. There's also dangerous things, so going out hunting could mean you come back with like, oh, I went a mile, found a deer, killed it, came home, we ate well, or went out a mile and was never seen again because I got eaten by a panther
Deer.
lion.
By a deer.
Yeah.
The deer world out there.
You got killed by a deer who was 12 feet tall and holding a laser rifle and carrying a psychic shield. Yeah,
Good.
that kind of shit happens sometimes. But
Becoming
you take the
character.
night. You take the night, and it's safe because all of you are in a force. You don't see Warhol anymore as you get closer and closer to town. No one, Kari doesn't seem concerned by it. But Warhol doesn't seem like Warhol just starts to fade out more and more. Like every now and then you'll be like, oh, there he is. Oh, I thought Warhol was there. And we're just traveling through trees, and just like this 20-foot long dinosaur cat just kind of faded into these trees.
To do
Each
that.
does that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody see Warhol? No. I'm sure he's fine.
You get into town pretty easy. It's a town that's open for trade, so they see you coming. They do kind of send a radio message ahead. They kind of give you a hailing frequency, and everyone's communicator can kind of pick up like, here's the frequencies that are sending a message in this direction. And the range on it isn't great. It's less than like 5 miles effectively, but 5 miles out from town, which is still like an hour or two away, you get contacted and you can let them know your situation. They're like, we do have some room. We don't know. We don't have, this isn't a charity. We're not taking in refugees out of the goodness of our heart. But if you got money to spend, you're more than welcome to try to make a place. We've got room in town. We're rebuilding ourselves. So anyone with skills is definitely useful. Anyone with knowledge is definitely useful. And the old lady is like, I'll probably stay here for a little bit. Madame Valencia is like, I have some friends here that I can stay with for a little bit before I make my way onward. And Ulian is like, I will stay here as a contact point, I think, for a little, in case we find any other survivors. In case any other people who left town before the raid start making their way elsewhere. But I won't be too difficult to find, I'm sure.
Certainly not. And you have our frequencies. We're going to be here for a little bit to resupply before we move on. But if you need absolutely anything at all, you know how to get a hold of us.
I do appreciate that. Thank you. And same with me. I don't know what services I might offer you, but should you need them.
Only thing I need you to do right now is recover and start looking for a new home.
I wanted to say something clever about how my mind is my home, but it really does feel bad to lose the place I've lived.
Believe me, if you're looking to try to impress somebody,
I'm not.
don't worry. Not easily impressed, anyway. I was looking for something clever to say, and I didn't come up with anything either. So I think on that awkward note,
Let's leave
I'm
it
gonna go
sad.
check- let's leave it sad.
And kind of like floats away. In Pittsburg, there is a dense like heaviness in the town. There is a smelter that is going 24/7. Because it is built into the pool of lava that has come up from an elemental that has been bound to create a kind of furnace capable of creating magical steels and tempering magical steels. And it is I say bound, but more summoned and enticed to do this thing. Elementals that like to burn. Magma elementals like to be lava. And so it's kind of like okay, you are controlled, so you're not going to go rampaging. But elementals have a very basic robot kind of intelligence, where if you're like, wind elemental, get me that thing over there on the other side of that sheet of glass, it will go the most direct route, grab it, and then fling it back at you through the glass as hard as it can. Like
They're
if you
not like
tell
altogether sapient. They're forces.
Yes, if you tell a fire elemental to go get you a glass of water, I'm not sure it ever will, because it will just boil the water off as it tries to bring it back to you. Like, they are not they are intelligent in a way, but they are the most direct intelligences. There are higher levels of elemental intelligence, which doesn't always scale with power. But here in this city, you find a number of Techno Wizard stores. There is it's called the Techno Shack, It's like a Radio Shack for techno wizard crap. There is also it's called the Radio Barn, where you can buy all kinds of little fiddly bits to do things with if you are interested in tinkering. There's there's stores here for pretty much everything you will want. There is a general store, there is a specific store, there's a Crate and Barrel, which sells literal crates and barrels.
I want to go to the specific store. What do they sell there? Smart ass.
Today, the specific store sells random object generator. Frying pans. The specific store today has frying pans. They are Rachel Ray brand frying pans.
That's oddly specific.
Yeah, and that's all they have in the store. It looks like the store was built around it. In places, there is always a specific store in my games because I think it's the funniest thing that there's always a general store and a specific store, and the specific store will change every day what it sells. And it will have always sold that thing that day. It is very specific. Sometimes it's a very specific issue of a magazine. Sometimes it is copies of X-Men #1 from 1995. Today, it is Rachel Ray brand frying pans. They're at a very reasonable rate. It is a very useful thing to have. If someone would like to buy one, your wealth die will cover it.
Fucking lootly, I am buying a very specific frying pan. Are you kidding me?
We love our Rachel Ray frying pan.
It is red.
Okay.
Rachel Ray frying pan. It is the non-stick porcelain enamel skillet with lid.
Good. Good. Amazing.
I think like I'm walking past and there's like a sign for like general store, specific store, and I stop and I turn and I go inside. It's like, that's oddly specific. And then it's just a hard cut back to me at the bus. And I come over to Rainier. Watch your frying pan.
Just
I set it on the table.
Picks it up and looks at
Durable,
it.
colorful for long-lasting performance that pops. The frying pan is made from hard aluminum and finished with an extra strong non-stick. Blah, 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 blah.
Just as like turning it over wide, like sparkling eyes.
Oh boy.
It is a 12.5-inch frying pan. Here, I'll put the link in the.
Oh god. See, now you're gonna make. Oh fuck.
Yeah.
No, you know what? Fuck you. Rainier reaches into their pouch that is weirdly deep. You can't tell if it's deep or not. Something is weird. It may be them. You don't know. And pulls out something I've actually seen in real life. A small nutcracker that has chipped paint and is holding a dirty pride flag.
Target's selling those.
What'd you say?
Target.
Yeah, we saw them at Target.
Right
they
now.
exist. And just puts it on the table in front of you, and then just takes the frying pan and walks away.
Wait, no, the frying. I bought you. And there's a beat while I stare at the nutcracker.
It stares at you.
And then we get the reverse shot of it staring at me. And then there's a hard cut. Hey, it's Sasir, I got you a nutcracker.
This is the weirdest white elephant I've seen.
I was gonna say.
Oh my god, I was like, shit, you're giving me something. I have to figure something out. And then there's also that part of me that's going, just keep giving Rainier shit, so I have to come up with random bullshit that's in this pouch. I figured none of it has value, so Kevin wasn't gonna fight me on it. It's just
pan
weird
doesn't
shit
either,
they've
so.
collected along the way. They just found something, thought it was neat, and stuck it in the pouch, and that's all it is.
I love it. Same. The frying pan's the same thing. I don't like.
Yeah, but the frying
Someday
pan-
you
yeah.
may need a Pride Nutcracker. Someday you may need an aluminum frying pan.
Yeah, and now
It's
you gave
not iron.
and now you gave the
that-
Fae a way to cook for people.
Yeah. You're not capable of making the kind of magical fairy food.
I know, it's just funny when they find out, when like that comes out, and it's just like, wait, you've been doing what? It's just like, it's not something you have to worry about.
You
so-
love to hear. Anyway.
So yeah, so I present Sasir with the nut. It's the same order of operations. There's, hey, I got you this. I set it down like on a counter inside the van.
Now there's a shot of Sasir looking at the Nutcracker, and Nutcracker looking back. And then looking at Adelaide looking back, thank you? What? Why?
I'm not
Where
really
did
sure.
you get this?
Sasir, you remember you have a handful of acorns? Along the way, you found some walnuts.
It's like, while she's just sitting there going like, I will save these for when I can like open them properly. And then seeing that just being, actually, this is perfect. And she just starts rifling through her pockets, and she's just taking out all kinds of crap from her pockets, just like little like weird looking like branches with like strange like not quite pine needles. They're reminiscent of pine needles, but not quite there. And like little like flower petals and all kinds of shit, and then she just finds like a bunch of walnuts and just opens the thing, and the cracker just because it's just that paint on paint like sound. Just shoves it in.
This doesn't work like everyone thinks it should. Okay. Nutcracker's not actually useful for cracking nuts. Anyway.
And she's just trying it anyway, but if it doesn't work, she gonna tinker with it till it does.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
roll repair on a Nutcracker.
Go for it, actually. See if you can make it, roll that repair. You joke, but do it.
Amazing. Yes, good.
This is how I make players roll. They say something, and then I...
Yeah.
Don't-
Let's go.
There it is. There it is.
It's
Oh,
a
it's on
5.
sale right now.
You're able to,
It's now holding
put-
a gun. Shoots.
You're able to put, enough, like, cheap metal on it so it will actually crack a, like, nut effectively. You rebind the hinges, you shave down the sides so it's not grinding against them anymore. Takes you a little bit of time to do this.
Time well spent.
Yes.
Yeah, like as you're going through it, and in answer to your question, as you're like, wait, no, I can make this better. Allie just kind of like sits down and takes in the scene of you first unloading all of that crap out of your pockets, and then like scrounging together like metal and hammering it into place on this tiny shitty nutcracker. I don't know. I just felt like I should do something nice for the group. You know, we didn't. That sure was a thing that happened 2 days ago, huh?
She's just like kind of messing with the Nutcracker, trying to take it apart, and just stops and looks up at Adelaide. Indeed it was. Is your stomach a little less jumpy now?
No. Hey, sorry, I was really rude that day, and that was uncalled for and poorly timed. So apologies for that. That's not
No
not who I'm trying to
apology.
be.
No apology necessary, as you are a leader of our group. So you are going to give orders in high stress situations. It makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know about this whole leader thing, and I definitely don't know about this whole giving orders in high stress situations thing. It's not something I'm particularly cut out for.
It's, you are more cut out for it than I think. Well, that's certainly myself. As I assume on Rainiers, they're very,
Odd.
limited in how much communications they like to do. They seem to get to
That's-
the point, and that's about it. But do it in a way that certainly makes my head tilt to the side. I like them, just like I like you, but I don't think leadership is for either of us in comparison.
That is a very, very diplomatic way of calling somebody a stuffy asshole, and frankly, I'm impressed.
Thank you. Just a like little pop of like part of the nutcracker coming up like apart, and it's like, I actually wanted to ask you a question. She's like shaking like some kind of like screwdriver or whatever, like kind of in Adelaide's face, and she's just kind of like, let's ask you a question. Actually, as our new comrade from Nitro said something that was very interesting to me. It's about our common enemy from the town. They seem to be very interested in the cybernetics, specifically those people from the town, for some reason. They were all wiped out. I was finding pieces everywhere. Do they do that for a reason?
The only thing demons do is eat and kill and worst everything in their path until they're satiated. It usually lasts about 4 seconds, and then they do it again. Sorry, that was a bit flowery.
Is there no grand scheme behind it? As they gathering pieces for a reason? As a scavenger, I kind of understand if you want to get the bits and pieces to make something much larger, so I get a little concerned if they're going through a whole town to do that.
Adelaide sighs, and there's kind of a beat while she's like looking out the window and just kind of like rubbing the sides of her arms. I don't know. That sort of thing is kind of outside my wheelhouse. I gotta be honest with you. Every time I've had dealings with demons, it's more of a carnage sort of focused thing, you know? Demons and technology, I suppose it's possible. Anything's possible around here. I mean, that is gesture outside towards the very specific store.
Sasir gestures to herself and goes, "Yes, I get it."
I mean, listen, I don't know that I would call you I guess you are kind of, you're a very special and strange thing, and that's good. In a good way. In the way that Big Green out there was very special and good. Even if I should have done without the smell. But no, the most I saw of any demon activity was at the fall of Tolkien, and she doesn't finish that sentence. She just lets it hang.
As you seem to be haunted by quite a bit.
Saw a lot of good people made a lot of horrible ends that they didn't deserve over a mistake that could have been avoided. And a lot of bad decisions made on the part of a lot of very short-sighted wizards. But none of the demons there wanted to start gluing robot parts to themselves, so...
That's not true.
No, is that not true?
There are demons, known as the Broadkill, which are able to, most demons regenerate and cannot be, mechanically upped. But Broadkill is a very specific type of demon. Adelaide, the ones you encountered spoke German for some reason. And
would I recognize German?
You would recognize it as a foreign language, but someone might have mentioned that it's an Earth language.
Okay.
It is definitely, well, German's got a lot of, very similar homonyms.
Oh no, totally.
Yeah.
Hi, I used to live in Germany.
Yeah, true.
But but it was some of those things of like, I don't know if Adelaide would recognize German, but she does speak American, so
yeah, you'd recognize it as an Earth language.
They're
But
cognates
Broadkill
that-
specifically are a kind of demon that can be augmented through cybernetics
Okay.
and enjoy it. Similarly, the demonics, like, so you might not know why they are into it, but most demons don't care, but some do. The demonics clearly can also be augmented, so it might be similar to that.
Okay.
You're not the expert on this by far, but
Totally.
you
so,
are
like,
aware that some demons do get augmented.
I stopped myself at one point and kind of like shake my head like I'm pulling up a weird, awkward memory. There was one kind. I remember. You got to understand, a lot of what I was doing was fighting them and trying to stay alive, but they called them broadkill demons. I don't know much about them, but they definitely had a penchant for gizmos.
Hmm. Do you know to what end? As she's like putting the metal pieces in the nutcracker to like make it work a little better.
I don't know. They can kill better. So they can wreak more mayhem. Because they think it's funny to tear their own limbs off. Who knows? They're demons.
So it's always a violent reason. Okay.
Yeah, they don't deal in subtlety. Never.
Just a violent reason, and then she like there's an issue with the metal, so she like bangs on it, like just has like a weird like raccoon trying to fix a thing moment and like smashes it, and then like it's in place, and she's like, oh, and just keeps going.
What is Rainier up to? It's kind of early in the morning. There are a number of bars. You do hear a giant whistle that sounds through town, and the factory lets a shift out. All of these people look like they've been working at a fucking steel factory all night. But they are a wide variety of people, mostly human, but not entirely. You see the occasional grackletooth. You see the occasional just like big, augmented, like what I like to call function cyborgs, people who are cybernetically enhanced to like be stronger in order to do factory jobs that require massive strength. You do see a couple of you don't see any techno wizards early in the morning. It seems like that scene happens mostly at late night. There are a lot of techno wizards in the city. But I'm just trying to give you a idea of the people around. There's a number of like diners that serve the shift that gets out at like 10 in the morning that fill up, and there's a couple of bars that serve that shift too.
Oh well,
So I don't know what Rainier would do with their time.
Rainier may actually, they'd see people letting out and just kind of go like to themselves, well, they're leaving work, very obviously. They're going to get food or drink. That sounds good, and just follow them and literally just walk into the first bar they see. You turned me loose. I was just waiting.
The first bar you see is called the Flash Dance.
Oh no.
And it is a neon sign of a sexy lady leaning back in a welding mask that neon like water is poured on. And it is not the most. It is the closest bar.
Mm-hmm.
It is not. I mean, it's a dive. It's also got a buffet for some reason.
Wait, time out. Can you be a dive and have a buffet? Chat, back me up
Yes.
on this one.
I gave you a gay
Have you
nutcracker
seen-
in exchange for your Rachel Ray frying pan. I think we can do whatever the fuck we want.
This place it has a buffet table that things are on. I don't know
Okay.
if it's okay, so there's Golden Corral that serves alcohol down
God.
at level drop it 2 levels.
Oh god.
Feels like a Fuddruckers in that old Pizza Hut where everything was dark and shit, but they still had like the salad bar.
It's like if a Sizzler used to be a strip club but got rid of the stage.
Oh,
Okay,
they should have
actually,
just
okay.
made a sizzler with a stripper stage.
I hate that I can follow that.
Stripler.
Continue.
A
Do
Strizzler?
Sizzlers even exist
What?
anymore? I don't
haven't
wanna
seen
know.
one in years.
Yep,
I
no,
have
that's
another.
fine. Just follows people in there.
Yeah. It is very much just like big burly people. They don't give a shit about like what you look like as long as you're capable of doing the work. You do see some people that clearly have horrible burn scars and then a cybernetic limb. I'm sorry. There just wrote "Welcome to the strip limit," and yeah.
Thanks, I hate it.
I'm writing that down.
Anyway,
Yes, Sizzler still exists.
Okay, I'm
And may
so
God
sorry.
have mercy on our souls.
I'm so sorry that Sizzler still exists.
There's one in Austin, at the very least.
There used to be one in by Trenton, but it doesn't exist anymore. There's a Golden Corral around here. Never been. Anyway, the people there are tired but jovial. You know, it's the people who are like, oh god, I just got done doing dangerous work, so I'm gonna drink to kind of like to get rid of the stress of a job where you may lose like a limb. And there's a guy who just pulls out the the squeeze box accordion and starts like doing shanties. And people don't immediately throw things at him, so that's kind of common here.
Okay. Oh, would we have had time to clean up?
You wouldn't have had a ton of time to clean up, but that means you're probably still the cleanest person in here.
Oh no!
Because you just came from a steel factory.
So, demon fight still cleaner than...
Oh, you're clean. You've been clean since the demon fight. I mean,
okay,
you've had
okay.
time.
That's
the bus has a
basically all.
shower.
So now they are by far the cleanest person in here.
Yes,
They stand out like literally like
one of them goes, "Oh, ain't you you's fancy?"
big a yellow crayon in a
Does
box of
Pittsburgh say-
coal.
Yins is Baltimore, right? Yins is Baltimore, not Pittsburgh. Is it both?
don't-
Listen, it's
Oh, it's Pittsburgh
post-apocalyptic.
equivalent
We
to
don't know where
y'all.
anybody went.
Yeah, Yins. Oh, ain't Yins fancy?
Well, thank
Oh
you.
my God, what is happening?
Like,
I could have sworn. Yes, Yins is Western Pennsylvania English. It is.
That's
y'all.
horrifying.
It is y'all for Pittsburgh.
The rest of the country.
and just we'll go up to the bar, kind of look at the bottles that are there, which are probably the shittiest selection ever.
There are different colors on the bottles to indicate what they are.
Good.
Labels, not so much.
Is there blue?
There is blue, but it is clearly out of reach of the gnome bartender.
Just looks up at it, frowns kind of childlike, then looks at the bartender and goes, "What's the next best thing to what's in the blue bottle?"
The gray bottle. You don't want the brown bottle.
Gray is fine.
Okay. All right.
Ordered by color.
Coming out of the gray bottle is what looks to be a thick, dark, blackish liquid, and as the bottle is popped, there you feel a pop of magic. This is a techno wizard town. As the gray bottle is poured, this dark, blackish liquid starts. It's kind of thickish but carbonated. Starts pouring in, and kind of like a gray foam, like a light gray foam, starts forming at the top of it.
I assume I can
You
just
credits. You pay for them because you got the credits.
just happily takes the drink, nods to the bartender, and then just walks away with it to just kind of take in the people.
scene.
And that's it. Just kind of like, maybe I'll learn something. Maybe I won't. I have alcohol. That's it.
You see what? Yeah, you see what used to be a bowling alley, but is now turned into like a lawn dart area. Except it's played with regular darts. Like it's played with lawn darts, but it's darts. Because these are people who are like cybernetically augmented and have what is called in some systems robotic strength, where like Darts, they would just shatter the wall. They have to be like bowling length distance to have a good game of darts.
This is the Stripler / Bolero. I don't know.
Yeah, this is like the one cool thing they have. They also have an old style wooden bowling like pinball machine kind of table. I've seen one. I can't exactly explain it. It's like the pins are a little bit above it, and there's like little bumps in the bottom, and you roll a wooden ball across it, and it works like bowling.
Okay.
There was one in a bar called Pappy's in the Poconos, but I don't remember what the hell the name of the thing is.
So it's a little bit like skee ball, but
Not
not
entirely
skee-ball.
unlike skee ball, yeah. But just a wooden bowling machine.
reverse pachinko.
Hmm.
Meh, I can't find it. Anyway, not gonna
That's
stress.
that's fine. That's fine.
Oh, it's called a ball bowler?
No, thank you.
Okay.
I do not wish to be a ball bowler. Why does it sound way worse than just being a bowler?
Yeah, so there's a couple of like small table games there, and there's other shit. The people there are generally well fed, in a decent mood. Like, you know, you've been in towns where everyone is just like, we're all just waiting for death. This town has a little more life to it than that. There's art on the walls that isn't just graffiti. There's plenty of graffiti. It's a jovial atmosphere, and people are like, every now and then, people are like, "Hey, you want in on this game?" Oh, by the way, your drink tastes like a milkshake a little bit. It's a thick. Your character wouldn't know what Guinness is, but it's essentially Guinness.
But it's kind of sweet.
A little bit.
Okay.
It's
And very
you know,
thick?
Guinness is thick.
Sure, it's not milkshake thick.
It's not
though.
milkshake thick, no. But yeah.
But I mean, this absolutely can be. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is basically someone recreated Guinness and then sent this magical recipe around to their other magical bar owners.
Okay. Yep, they're pleased.
Yeah. It's got a high alcohol content too.
Yeah, and will honestly join in the first game they're invited to play.
It is John Darts. And it is the long dart distance, and they're like, well, you don't have the what's your physical strength die?
Oh, only D6.
All right, so you don't have the physical strength, so you're gonna have to arc it. There is two ways to play this game, and one is just to huck the fucking thing. Says the big Grackletooth
Okay.
woman that's talking to you, and she's like, the other way for you smaller beings is to just like physics it. I don't know. I don't do math. And just like, you ready? So give me an athletics roll.
Sure. That's terrible.
What is? I'm sorry.
It's too. I listen. We're getting too close. I'm gonna re-roll it. I don't care. I'm gonna spend a penny.
Spend a penny. I gave you. You have plenty, and this game is shorter than most. All right.
A 4.
So you got a 4. So you hit the target, but they are just gonna straight up roll their D12 die for their D12
That's
strength.
fine.
And that is an 8, which beats your 4.
Yep.
So they end up knocking your dart off the wall. And it's kind of like it's whoever gets closest to the center and has their dart still in there at the end.
Okay. It's like bocce.
Yeah, it's a valid tactic to just hit someone's dart out of the board.
Beautiful.
So it's fun. Like, they're not playing for money; they're playing for like a drink. But again, you've got enough credits. You're not like you don't have a gambling addiction. I don't believe that's among your faults.
Nope. Just having fun.
Yeah.
People are lively, and that was attractive, and let's go. Like, that's literally it. There was very little thought going on.
Yeah. So you have a good time with these people. Is there anything you want to learn from these people?
Just kind of gonna keep a general ear out for conversations about.
Gotcha.
You know,
Everyone's still sad about the tragedy that happened, but the town is rebuilding, and the Sebastian Moorhead was the much beloved, I don't know about beloved, but well-liked philanthropist who also like funded an opera that the town still has. There's an opera house in town that the Moorheads like pretty much funded. And his son is doing a fine job, but not as good of a job, taking over the town. A lot of people like lost someone they know in the tragedy after Sebastian Moorhead's assassination, and everyone was sure that there was something in place so that even when Sebastian died, the elemental wouldn't lose control. But someone must have like, fucked with it.
Okay.
But the town is doing okay. They're still producing a lot of metallic goods very easily because they've got magical help. They're well defended. There's defender. You do occasionally see like a what looks to be a knockoff coalition police car. Like it is just a reliable vehicle that they have strapped some lights on top of and repainted to not be a coalition vehicle. Or someone stole the plans and produced their own. There's a good number of industry in this town. And occasionally overhead, you do see wizards or techno wizards flying on some kind of flying device. It's not too common in here, as the air is pretty smog filled because of the elemental belching factory.
Okie dokie. Cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty safe place. No one really leaves here for going directly out east, unless they're an adventurer or crazy. Across the river, let me just look at the map real quick. See what's across the river or up the river from Pittsburg. Because that's how maps work. Where'd that map go? Nope. Too many tabs. There it is. Yeah, Pittsburg isn't that far from Lake Erie. And but they say if most people like they ship a lot of goods over to Queens Harbor on Lake Erie, which is near what used to be Cleveland. And from there, the goods go over to Detroit or up to Ontario. Plenty of places in Ontario, including Laszlo, the magical place, and Old Bones. Where's Old Bones? Old Bones is Montreal. Oh, no, Montreal's a pirate kingdom. Free Quebec is a whole thing, but they don't really do a lot of trade with Free Quebec. There we go. This map is weird to move around things on. There we go.
Got everything I need from French Canada. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Where is Old Bones? I've lost track of Old Bones. In my brain. Oh, Old Bones is much further into Free Quebec. Gotcha. All right. Yeah. Yeah, it's a decent place to live, most people say. It's hard work. Living here ain't easy, but it is safe and people are generally pleased. There's entertainment in the town. There's a public library and schooling system that is funded by the people that run the town, which is connected to the black market.
Wait, did you say the library's funded by the black market?
Indirectly.
Okay, cool. They'll be gone for a bit.
All right.
But if you don't come looking for them within, like, say 2 hours, they will wander back.
Okay.
Gotcha. You're here for a little bit, because Candace says, it'll probably take me a day to get my supplies all up and ready to go. But if you need anything from me, just let me know. You can have the day.
Appreciate it. I'm curious what Sasir does once they've got their her Nutcracker situation squared away. What's your next plan of action? Like,
well, besides cracking and eating everything, which she does offer Adelaide a walnut.
oh yeah, it absolutely takes you like it's anytime you like crack and offer one over, it's instantly into her mouth.
Good. What time is it when we get there?
You get there pretty like not early in, let's say around 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. In my brain, Sasir's sleep schedule's all over the place because there's like the nocturnal need for the raccoon and the daytime need for humans. So she's like was probably considering a nap at some point, but like where I love thinking about like all the weird places she's gonna nap, and I'm just gonna leave that for whenever that happens. But like she'd probably ask Adelaide just, is there anything that we need before we head to where we're going, or
We just need this thing to keep moving. So, I mean, I don't know. If you're asking if I'm okay on ammo, I am. And if you're asking if I'm okay on food, well, I think that's what this thing is for.
Well, I didn't know if there was anything specially offered here that we might need, or
There is a truck
anything-
that serves cheesesteaks covered in cheese fries.
Oh no,
You can buy trash food. I think they are called trash
fat
trucks.
sandwiches.
Are there to trash truck fat sandwiches? Yeah. I think Pittsburgh's got a big fat sandwich scene.
Oh no. But Sasir doesn't know that because I rolled double ones before. She's very confused about where she's been.
Do you smell one? Somebody walks by.
Oh yeah,
There's a
somebody
place
goes.
called Fatheads, which is the fat sandwich place.
If someone goes by that bus with a fat sandwich, there is just gonna be, like the way back when we had like the little stuffed animals that had the suction cups, and you stuck them in the back of your
Garfield, yeah.
car, and it's usually a Garfield. So that's her now in the window, staring at that sandwich. If someone like walked by with one, and now she's on a quest.
Okay.
And she'd be like, you know what? I think I found something that I need. If you would like to go. I'm not sure where we near went, but I think that they're probably fine. They couldn't get into any trouble here, right?
Nah.
Excellent.
As you are, you find a food truck on the corner that sells what would be considered. See, I gotta save that. Something came in my head, and I'm like, that wouldn't be here. It's chicken fingers on cheese fries with a layer of cheeseburger and bacon.
Oh god.
On a hoagie roll. And that is all for $12. There is a line for them, especially people coming out of the factory. And as you are in line for them, Sasir, make a notice roll real quick. Do you have danger sense?
No, I do not.
Right,
I think that's Rainier, I think, has that.
Gotcha. Take a
If
negative
it
2
matters, I'm absolutely going with her, by the way.
Yeah. Do you have danger sense?
No.
All right.
Notice that it's -2.
Then you can both give me a roll at a notice at -2.
Alrighty.
Oh! Well, I got a 5 with a -2.
Okay. All right.
I got 3.
So you notice just before they pounce at you.
Oh.
You turn in time to not get knocked over by the 5'4" woman in a leather jacket with the side of her head shaved and kind of neon hair with like UV lights going through it. It's around 2 o'clock in the afternoon now, with UV light strands off her side cut that goes "Panda" as she tackles you.
Oh no! Fun. That's fun. If Sasir goes anywhere, she's got her mask on again and goggles
Yes, you are
and stuff, but
completely
her
covered.
tail still fucking out. Oh.
But you hear this voice you know.
Oh no.
From the old days. That just sounds so excited to see you. As your friend from Free Quebec, Ivy, tackles the shit out of you with a hug.
Is this a gun situation? Should I be drawing a
Oh,
gun?
Ivy is clearly armed.
Oh, sorry. No, this is me saying that in character
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
Sasir as this happens.
Sasir has a moment of like trying to piece back together like reality because it's a voice that she hasn't heard and doesn't expect to hear it now. So it's like running into your teacher at the supermarket, like where you're just like, "What?
Like
You
running
don't
into your
belong here."
teacher in another city.
Yeah, like just what? No, and she just like pushes away for a second just to like take in this person that's like just enveloped her in a hug and just goes, Ivy, what are you doing here? And she just pulls her in and is just squeezing the hell out of Ivy.
Ivy is so happy to see you, and then remembers that she's like, I can't tell you why I'm here. I'm here to see some friends.
You cannot. Well,
I'm on legitimate business. How about you?
oh well. And she like looks at Adelaide and goes, "We legit business, yes, very."
He looks over at Adelaide and goes, oh, are you?
Hello, I'm legitimate business.
Hi.
I'm here doing legitimate business. Hello, I'm
My-
legitimate business.
My name is Stacy.
Stacy.
Hello, awkward Stacy. My
That-
name's Adelaide.
That's what they call me. You can see over awkward Stacy's one eye is like a targeting reticule, like a clear cybernetic eye on the, I believe, right side opposite of the side cut. They are like, ha! Are you in trouble? Do we need to go? Are you being followed?
No,
Or
no,
you need
I
to
am-
hear-
I am fine. Adelaide is here with me.
Hello.
You're palling around with Cyberknife?
It is fine. Don't worry.
Oh,
about
it's so nice to meet you. Are you okay? You sure you're okay?
it. Yes, I am okay.
Great. Okay.
We're
Yeah, I
actually
can
here to
hear
get a
you, right?
sandwich.
Yeah, I know.
Did you not see the sandwich that's at the end of this line? That is why I'm here.
That's actually the first time I saw this place. I thought of you.
As you should.
The line moves up. I just sort of like push the two of them forward along as the line moves.
Literally goes, "Hey, no cutting." She's just like, "Fuck you, buddy." I met my fucking friend here. Fuck you. The guy goes,
That's Stacy, but so you're here on business. Is this far?
No. Yes, I'm here on business.
I'm not gonna arrest you or whatever it is you
Oh, I
think
know
Cyber
that.
Knights do. Yeah, I'm not gonna kill you either or whatever it is you think Cyber Knights do.
Normally, they're just assholes.
Okay, well, that is not something I can altogether dispute, but more to the point, just. And I just like turn to Sasir with this like help me look in my eyes and a shrug.
So Adelaide is a dear friend.
Okay. So, hello, my name is Ivy,
Oh,
and
Nitro.
I am expertise in technological things over long range and access.
It's there's just like you just see Sasir's like eyebrows like over her goggles and she just wiggles them at Adelaide to try to like help translate, but silently.
No, I know what thieves do. It's okay. Again,
I'm not a thief.
moves up the line a little bit more.
You know other people in here, you too, right?
Yeah, I'm not really worried about it. I gotta be honest with you. Should have taken off the damn armor. We're just here to buy sandwiches, and I
Well,
know
looks like
that
you've been
sounds...
traveling a long while.
A bit. We just came from well, what used to be Nitro.
Never heard of it.
Never will, unfortunately.
I hadn't admittedly heard of it before we were sent, but It is not a place you want to visit. There will be nothing there to visit.
Well, I guess the bright side is I'll never have to.
I guess I don't know what it was like beforehand. It might have been nice. It's in a decent spot. But I did not expect to run into anybody from home here.
Neither did I.
Did
Twice. It's weird. Anyway,
twice?
a couple years ago. Don't worry about it.
What did you run into before?
Oh, my sister was here for a little bit.
Really?
It was a whole thing. Don't worry about it. Oh,
Interesting.
by the way, I'm back. I can go back to town now.
Can you?
Yeah. You know how they kind of ran me out of town? That one gang that turns out the guy had a demon, and I kind of broke some. We made a deal, and then I had to leave town for a while. And I can go back now.
Again with the
Good.
demons over here.
If you are going back to town, can I give you something?
Yeah, I'll probably head back there tomorrow after I get up around 1 in the. I'll wake up around 1 and head out probably tomorrow. That's my plan currently.
Fantastic.
My mission, reason for being here is finished.
Yes, couriers are not working for me, and anything that I create isn't. I don't think getting to its final destination. And you probably know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I haven't
don't.
seen you in a couple of years, so I do have something that might help you if you would like. A special kind of cell phone, but you can't really use it for anything except contacting me.
I will take any help.
Packet to packet relay over a long distance, as long as somebody's traveling in that direction, it kind of piggybacks their system.
You know me. I understand.
Yeah. She hands you what looks to be an old style, like 90s flip phone, where it's got like the one piece that covers the buttons and then flips down and is just a cheap piece of plastic that kind of covers the buttons and has a tiny microphone on the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of those where like the cord comes out. She says, it mainly gets text. Typing's a bit of a pain. I ran out of my blackberries that I had found. Blackberries are a kind of device from forever ago. Don't worry about it. They're not actual berries.
They're delicious.
That is disappointing.
To hit like 4444 19999. Yeah.
It's the shittiest way to type.
It's
We used to be
word.
so good at it too. That's the sad part.
You can do it without looking, yeah. But ooh.
Oh?
Ooh.
Do you know how much you're up to?
Not recently, no.
Do you want to?
Sure, I am curious.
So am I.
50K. I mean, that's not my highest number, but whatever.
I mean, who's in competition, right? She just
Me.
smiles.
Constantly.
Well, yes, of course. Actually, when she smiles, the little raccoon like teeth on her mask light up for a second, and then they go back
She
down.
goes, I told her that was a good idea.
You have many good ideas.
Thanks. I also have a lot of bad ones, so I should get moving.
Indeed, that is why
Yes.
you had to leave.
You don't need the heat. All right. Well,
No, I don't at 50K.
You'll be fine.
Grand.
All right. So lovely to meet you, Adelaide. You met a lovely girl named. Did I say Stacy? I think it was Stacy. Stacy.
Stacy, yes.
Stacy. Yeah, you met a
that
lovely
was
girl
the
named
one you
Stacy. If
picked.
anyone asks.
Don't worry, people don't tend to like to talk to me anyway.
Oh, and before you go, and Sasir, like, almost in a panic, like she knows that Ivy's gotta go, but pulls out a few envelopes, and they're a little thick, and hands them to her, and goes, "It's find my parents, please."
Oh, are these gonna be sad if I read them?
No, not sad, but it's things in there that I don't need getting anywhere else. But this should help because if you open those, I'm sure you're going to be tempted. But instead, and she just hands Ivy like a rolled up wad of money.
He goes, I actually don't need that.
Really?
Yeah.
Doing that well, huh?
Yes and no. But for you, you don't have to worry about it.
Merci, friend. You are the bit of home that I'm very happy to see right now.
She responds in French in ways that I don't know how. And gives you like the biggest, strongest hug, a kiss on the cheek, and then kind of goes a little bit like, I'd say she's the kind of she doesn't bounce off, but she is definitely like happy to see you and happy to have people watch her walk away. But like quickly makes her way around a corner and is just gone into a crowd.
Sasir watches for a bit, and just smiles in that moment where like, and gone. So good at that.
I just like we see me like lean down in from like out of frame and just. So who's your girlfriend?
Yeah. That is not exactly the case. Friend from home. Someone
cute.
that taught me many things. And yes.
Suppose the word of a cyber knight isn't much to her, but you are ostensibly under my protection, so do you think that'll help her at all?
It's not being under your protection. It is having an actual connection to you that is not the negative kind. Very much helps.
No, of course. So what'd you do to rack up 50 grand?
That is something I would definitely wait until we are not online for the sandwich. Also, I just want to enjoy this sandwich. And she's just like staring, and because you can smell it again, like.
The guy at the counter goes, "What jeans want?" And you order and get it.
Oh yeah.
All right. With that, and I'll say Rainier comes wandering out of the bar, kind of like just happens to sort of spot you and head over. It's been a couple of hours. It's now around like 3:00. And a buzz comes on your communicator that says, I don't think there would be a problem. We can set out tomorrow. And the Sasir gets a text on that phone that says, "Sorry, I forgot. It's been a while since I've been back home. Next time I'll just use French."
Holy shit.
There's just like she just sits there and takes a time to do good job, but in French back. Probably a lot of number hitting for a while.
Yeah. All right. And with that,
Extra
I
vowels.
think we're going to.
Days.
Oh, sorry.
The extra vowels for days. French love their fucking vowels.
There is a auto predict kind of thing on there, so it's not.
Oh, thank God.
But the auto predict was programmed in 1995. Anyway,
oh yay.
It says cool a lot. Yeah, cool. I blanked on my 1995 slang. So, with that, the camera shows the lot of you at a table eating ridiculous sandwiches, and starts to pull back. And with that, I think it fades out. It will then fade in
Oh.
in a bar in Free Quebec, where we see a man in what is clearly a silver, like perfectly silver clothes with a perfectly silver like lab coat, future tech looking guy, who is wearing over that a black trench coat, looking stealthy, at a bar, who slides over, who's speaking to someone, and they go, "It's time to bring her in. Do you think she knows?" It's like, "I don't care if she knows. Retrieve her. I don't care how long it will take or what it will cost. It needs to be done." And the camera pans over to just what looks to be a human woman. Just goes, let's go with, let's see, Rolodex in my mind. Oh my god, Rosa from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, who goes, "I'll get it done." And as she reaches her arm out, you can see just underneath the lab coat, or black jacket over a white tank top, is shiny chrome all down her arm. And that's where we'll leave it for the night.
Yay.
Oh, I know how to get an easy payday. I mean, I need to figure out what town to take her to in order to pack out. But other than that, I mean, I get that information out of her. It's easy peasy.
Oh no.
Stephanie Beatrice, that's the actress's name. Anyway, thank you all for joining us for tonight's episode of Gunmetal Soul.
Yeah.
Tonight's episode titled "Could It Be Magic?" So let's go around and tell people where they can find us on stuff and things, starting with Sasir.
I'm writing fat sandwiches in my notebook exactly like that with M's. M is for menace. Anyway, hi! I'm Dara. I've been Sasir this evening. You can find me at Wildcat Dara on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and right here on Twitch. Twitter as long as it lasts, I guess. I stream on Wednesdays and Thursdays, usually somewhere between 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern. I give a range because I have doctor's appointments every other week, so things happen. Also,
You have life.
Yes. One of my main games I'm playing right now is Persona 5 Strikers, but I do play a lot of like Wild Out shit. Anything on Steam, Sims, a lot of variety, and I do art every once in a blue moon. So, and then you can find me over at DLG, Devil's Luck Gaming, here on Twitch on Fridays for our Final Fantasy XIV inspired TTRPG game set in Fantasy Age, where I am an aura dancer named Zolzaya, who just is a bundle of energy, which is always a fun time.
All right, thank you so much. And over to Fox.
Hey folks, I remain Fox Barrett at Fox_Barrett on on Twitter. Again, so long as it remains, and frankly, I haven't really been on there in the last month. I should probably be using Twitter, but also I think I'm kind of over Twitter.
You're not missing anything.
It's fair.
Yeah. And I had been streaming here on Twitch, Fox_Bar. But I haven't really been doing that either. Fox is taking some time off, so you can find her on this show. I haven't got anything going on over on DLG right now, and I haven't got anything going on my own channel. I'm working through some things right now. So yeah, catch me here every Monday.
All right. And moving on to Riley.
Hi, I'm Riley. I've been Rainier, who I'm constantly excited to be and also feel the need to apologize for.
You gave me a nutcracker. Don't you dare apologize.
A gay nutcracker.
The gayest.
Yeah, I
Well,
literally
not the
just need to sit and make a list of dumb, unusual shit that's in that pouch, and I keep forgetting to do it. You can find me here. This is my channel. You can find me on Tuesdays. Probably playing Final Fantasy XIV again. We'll see. Unless I'm obsessed with Pokemon, but I'm almost done with the game, so I probably won't play it. And then on Thursdays, so Tuesdays at 8, Thursdays at 9. Oh no.
That is huge.
Oh no. What the fuck is that?
I hate its hat.
The hat is the
It's a
only part
chimney
I
sweep
like.
as well.
I love it. What?
Continue.
But yeah,
Oh my
it's you here this mine. I do the thing here. I think. Jesus. And then
Don't mind
so
me.
Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then Fridays, I am also on DLG. I play a Femme Rogadin Gunbreaker. Yeah, and that's just I hit shit, and I have lots of health.
Nice.
Yeah, and then here where I look forward to this so much because it is a different fun experience and it's good. And look, there's a nutcracker.
Oh.
Who are you?
Oh, hello, everybody. My name is Kevin. I go by Sonic Kevin, no longer on Twitter. I deleted the account. But you can find me at Sonic Kevin on Tumblr. I think I'm posting there some just general RPG thoughts. Nothing, that hasn't probably been said by someone smarter before, but why not just put some stuff out in the world? And you can find VODs for this on this channel, as well as on Gunmetal Riffs on YouTube if you search for that. You can find the previous game, Gunmetal Blues and Ballad of Fates, if you look for Nerds with Dice. All right, so thank you all for joining us. And are you looking for some place to attempt to send some people?
I'm going to send everybody to Intraventus, who's playing Hunt Showdown. She is, I think she's taking a break from body painting right now, but if you have not checked out Intraventus on Twitter, her body paints are absolutely insane and out of this world, and she's just a sweetheart. But yeah, so we're gonna go over there. Oh, she's using sub-only chat. That's why.
Do you have anything else to add, Nutcracker, before we sign off for the night?
I like nuts.
That's very different from Fox.
Wow.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Alrighty.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Night, everybody.